Hey, this is René, welcome back to another video, and in this video we will use the indicator or the strategy pretty much that we prepared in the previous video, and we will trade the highs and lows of the previous day. So we can trade, first of all, let's have a look at the chart. So this is a chart where I attached the indicator, which is the previous day high-low indicator, which we already programmed together on this channel. If you didn't see the video, check out the previous video. And this indicator draws a line where the previous day high and low was for the current day. So in this case, for the current day, the previous day high was at this level and the previous day low was at this level. And there are several strategies that could be based on these on these levels pretty much. So you could, for example, say that you use the previous day high as a resistance and you go short if this level is reached. Or you could use it as a breakout strategy and say, for example, if the previous day high or low is reached by the price, you buy at the high and sell at the low. So these are several possible options, and we will take this concept and put it in an expert advisor. So whenever we want to write an expert advisor, we will have to go to the MetaQuotes language editor, and you can find it by clicking on IDE here. Then we click on New in the upper left corner, click on Next, and we can provide a name, previous day high-low system, something like this, doesn't really matter, and you click on Next, Next, and Finish. So this will create the raw skeleton for a new expert advisor, and we can delete the first 11 lines here because they are just comments, the gray lines, and properties that do not really affect the program at all. And we can erase some more comments here. And I like to rearrange my curly brackets here. And now we only have the three basic functions for any program left. The onInit function is triggered whenever the program is initialized. This function is triggered if it is deinitialized, and this is triggered with every single tick. So what we will do now is, first of all, we'll have to figure out the previous day high and low, right? And we could use the indicator that we just wrote. But in this case, since this is such an easy calculation, I wouldn't recommend using the indicator because this is just like too much. We can simply go ahead and calculate it like this, close D1, and we say I close for the current chart symbol for the D1 chart, and then as a shift value, you will choose 1 because we want the previous day, the close price of the previous day and the open price of the previous day. There's another function for this, which is IOpen. So we can use the IOpen and IClose function. These functions are system functions, so we can use them right away. And we store the result of the function calls in two double variables. And we can, for example, show these values on the chart using the comment function here. So for example, we can print the open and the close for the daily chart on the screen like this. If we compile the program, we can make an executable out of this MQ5 text file pretty much, and we should now find this in our navigator in the MetaTrader 5. So if you search for the previous day high-low system, I can drag and drop it to the chart, and we can now see the open and the close are displayed in the upper left corner, which I just realized is completely false because we want the high and the low and not the open and the close. But the process is always the same. You can use the I whatever function, high, low, open, close, time, and and receive data for specific bars in the chart. and the bar is specified by using this shift input for our parameter for the function, and 1 means for the for the last bar of the daily chart. For example, here, I just realized our indicator doesn't really work for the daily chart somehow, but yeah, doesn't really matter because in this chart time frame you wouldn't want to use it anyways. But you can see in the upper left corner we now see the previous day high and previous day low, and this value is it is correct. We will have to look here, high and low, and these are the values displayed in the upper left corner. And if we have a look back at our indicator, these are the same values here. Okay, so this is working already, so we do not need to receive data from our indicator using the iCustom function or something like this because it is easier to just calculate the previous day high and low like right away. So now we will have to find the point where we reach the previous day high and low. And the easiest way is to like check once per bar if we reached this level. So we can have a or do we even do it like this? I mean, we could also work with a tick on a tick basis. So what we can do here is we can say we want to store like the last bit price in this variable here, and then we calculate the current bit price here using the symbol info double function for the current chart symbol, and we provide symbol bit as a identifier, and then we check if bit is greater or equal than high D1. So if the current bit price reaches like the previous day high, and if the last bit price, and we should initialize it here, I think, symbol info double symbol bit, and if the last bit price was smaller than the high, then we found a buy signal, right? Function, or we can say the price hit previous day high. And if we turn around some of these operators, these comparison operators here, we will find the low of the previous day. Low like this. Okay, if we compile this, we can see there are some problems. I think I had I forgot to like close the brackets for the function. But if I do it like this and compile it, this is now working. So we should figure out if we hit the high or the low of the previous day. And what we can do now is we can say if we hit the high, we want to open a buy position, right? So to do this, we should include a file, which is the trade.mqh file. And we do this in pretty much every programming tutorial, because we can use the ctrade class then to open positions. And this is what we will do now is we say trade.buy, and then we have to provide the lot size, and this could be one lot. And we can do the same if we have a sell signal or if we hit the previous day low. So, yeah, this is enough code already to give it a run in the tester. So we can say in the strategy tester, and you can find it by clicking on View Strategy Tester, then click on Visualize in the overview and find your expert advisor here, previous day high-low system, and we can just for example, change to the 50-minute time frame. Doesn't really matter for this system at the moment, but yeah. If we do it like this, this should work. And we now see that we didn't have a signal yet because we already started below the previous day low. And in this case, we do not have a signal. But if we go back, oh no, we're already at the next day. And if we now see a new low here, we then open positions. And the problem is that we open a lot of positions because our if statement here, it can be true multiple times. Because if the price falls below the previous day low and then rises above it again and falls below the price again, then we open another sell position. So this is not really what we want. So to fix this, we can create, for example, Boolean variables on a global scale. We can say is previous day high triggered and is previous day low triggered, like this. Triggered? Yeah, I think it has to be like this. Looks weird. I don't know. And we can say is previous day high triggered is true whenever we have this buy signal, and is previous day low triggered is true when we have the sell signal. And then before we check, or before we check for a new sell signal, we check if is previous day low triggered is false. And instead of saying it like this, we could also just write this exclamation mark and then is previous day low triggered. This means that we check if this variable is false. And only if it is false, we check if there's a new signal and then open a new position. But if this is true, like it is true after the position opening, then we do not open more positions. And we do the same here for the buy signal. So if we start the same program again in the strategy tester now, we should only see one sell signal. And then this variable says true because the trade is triggered already and we do not see another trade. So let's check this out. So we should see a sell signal there, and then we do not see another sell signal. So this seems to work already. Okay, so what we can do now is we can go back to our code, and we will have to make sure that on the next day these variables are resetted pretty much. So what we can do here is we can say we, for example, create another global variable, which is the bars total for the D1 time frame. And we can say something like int bars D1. We calculate the bars on the one or on the daily time frame period D1. And if bars total D1 is unequal bars D1, this means pretty much that there is a new bar, because we always update the bars total D1 variable if these two variables are not equal. So in this case, we can then go ahead and reset these two variables here. Is previous day low is false. And we could also add a print statement here so we see what happens. Function new day resetting variables, like this. So this will ensure that we can have a trade every single day, right? So what we can still do is this is a little bit ugly because we hard coded the lot size. I would always recommend to create a input variable for this, because it makes it gives the user more input options or more flexibility. So just create a input double variable like this on a global scale, of course, and you can name it, for example, lots. This is what I like to name it, but you could always say volume or lot size or whatever you want to choose. And yeah, the difference between this input variable and the normal global variables is this input variable can be modified by the user of the program. So if we go to the settings of this previous day high-low system, you can see there is the lot size, which is now a input variable, and the user can change this value. Okay, so there are some more things that we could add here. For example, I said that we could either buy or sell at the previous day high, right? So what we can do here is we can create a Boolean variable for this, which is also an input, and we can say is breakout, for example, and we can say if this is true, then we trade a breakout, and if it is false, then we trade a retracement. I don't know what's the right word here, but I think you get the idea. And then we say if is breakout is true, then we buy, and if is breakout, if not is breakout, or simply else, then we say we want to sell here, right? And we can add the same here. If is breakout, then we trade a sell trade at the previous day low, and otherwise we will open a buy trade. Okay, so this is already, or this should already work. So for example, let's have a look at some more test runs. If we start the program again, oops, yeah, let me make this a little bit bigger. So if we run another test run, we should now see that there is a sell breakout trade as soon as the previous day low is reached here. So we have this sell breakout trade, and we should see one more at the next day because like this variable is resetted. And let's wait for one buy trade maybe, so we can see that this also works. Okay, there's another sell trade, seems to be a sell trend here. And I think there's some problem with the buy signals, right? Because they are not really executed. So let's check this. Yeah, I think by now we can say that there's a problem with buy signals. So let's have a check. Let's check why we do not get into this if statement. Smaller than high D1. Okay. Oh man, that's a big mistake I made here. Okay, first of all, we will have to exchange this because we have to check if the last bit is above the low D1. And then, really important, we have to update the last bit variable here after every execution of the onTick function, because otherwise the whole program doesn't really make sense. I mean, it worked for the sales signals because, yeah, this was like a coincidence. But it should now work for sales signals again and even for buy signals. So let's check this out. There is the first sales signal, which is still working, but we're searching for buy signals, right? So let's wait some more time, do some more testing, and check if we know open buy signals. I think there was a buy signal and it is still not executed. So I think my source code is correct. Maybe it was not compiled when I started the last test. So I will have to do it one more time. So let's just check if we see buy trades now. No, okay, there was a problem. He tried to open a buy trade, but the market was closed. Okay, this is another problem that we cannot really fix here. And we somehow always receive buy signals at 0 o'clock when a new day starts. So this has to be some other problem, I think. Okay, I did some more testing and there was a buy trade now. Before we go on testing, I want to do one more thing, which is setting a new tester template because it makes life easier for us. So just choose any chart in your MetaTrader and attach all the indicators that you want to see on this indicator. In the tester. Okay, so you can just choose any chart and attach the indicators that you want to see in the tester to this chart. And then you can click, right click, say save template. And then you say tester.tpl. So the name has to be exactly like this, tester.tpl, because this is the template that is automatically loaded in the strategy tester. So if I run the test again, we should now see that this indicator is attached to the chart. So let's wait a second. And yeah, you can see there it is. The previous day high-low indicator is now on the chart and makes it easier for us in the tester to see like if our program is working correctly. And yeah, but it also makes the test a lot slower. So maybe I should change it back to like testing without this visual indicator. But yeah, we can see we opened the trade at the previous day low here. Okay, yeah, so maybe I can, let me overwrite the tester template again because this is like really slow, but it seems to work after all. We still have to deal with this problem when the market is closed. So the easiest way to do so is to check if if there was a order sent by this trade object. So we check if result order is greater than 0, and then we update or is previous day triggered variable, and if it is not greater than 0, then we do not update it. So this means that we only update if the order was sent. And if there was a problem, like the market is closed or something like this, then we do not update this variable and we can try to open the position again. So let's check this out. Market sell. That was the market closed, and I think we do not see another sell signal on this day, but on the next day, yeah, there was the sell signal. But what is really interesting is if we will have buy signals now, and it should work better than before, because there were some situations where we saw buy signals, but the market was closed. Since we made an adjustment here, we should, yeah, we have more chances now to open buy trades. This is still not really what I want to see, because here we can see if there is the situation where a new day starts and we see like this gap, we will have to decide if we still want to take the trade here, right? So we could say that we open the trade and do not wait until we go back to the previous day range. So to fix this, the easiest way is to simply erase this last bit variable because in this case we will always open the position even if, yeah, just erase the last bit variable everywhere and compile the program again. And if we run it again, we then always open the position even if there's a gap for the next day. And this is, for example, great if we do not trade the breakout but the retracement. So if we set this to true, it was true before. If we set it to false, right? retracement, or was it false before? No. Now we should open a buy trade on the lower level and a sell trade on the upper level. So let's give it a quick run. Yeah, there is a buy trade. And we should now see another buy trade as soon as we hit the next signal here. We should see even more buy trades, but also sell trades if we hit the previous day high. And it's hard to tell what strategy is better. I think it pretty much depends on the market condition. If there is a really trendy market, of course you want to trade the breakout. If there's a choppy market, which is more sideways, then you want to trade like the retracement. But this is working. What we still have to take care of is closing the positions. And for this video, I think we will close them at a specific point in time. So we can have another input and we can say input int close time hour, for example. And we can say close time minute like this. And now in our program, we say here, for example, we create a structure for time, and we use the time current function to fill this structure with values. So a structure is basically just a combination of several variables. So this is a form of a data structure. So we can have, well, this MQL date time structure holds a total of 8 variables, which are integer variables. And we can access them using this dot operator. For example, we should say struct time dot day is equal to 2. And this operation only changes like the one variable in the structure, but it does nothing else. And the time current function, instead, it fills the whole structure with the information for the current time. So for example, we could print like struct time hour and struct time minute and struct time second like this. And we print it 2 times, one time before we do this time current function call, and then one time after we did the function call. And if we have a look now at the result, here you can see wait, let me erase this. So you can see before we called this time current function, the first time it was all 0. Then it was filled with values, and from this point on, I think it was in some memory of the PC, so the values stayed the same. But yeah, this is a way of filling the structure, a MQL datetime structure, with the data of the current timestamp. And yeah. So what we can do now is we can just exchange some of the values in the structure. For example, we can say the seconds shall be 0, the hour shall be time or close time hour, and the minute is close time minute. Now you might ask yourself why we even call the time current function and fill the data in the structure. This is not because of these 3 variables, but for all the other variables. Because this MQL datetime structure has several other variables like the year, the month, the day, and so on. And these values will stay the same, even if we exchange these 3 indicator values, variable values. And now we can do pretty much the turnaround operation. So we take our structure and use the struct to time function to receive a datetime value. And this will be stored in the time cloze variable. And what we can do now is we can check if the current time is greater or equal than this time cloze value. And in this case, we want to close all the open positions. And the easiest way to do so is to loop through all the trades. And we can do this by saying, or by using a basic loop. I think I used this several times in the YouTube tutorials, so I will not explain it in detail, but this loops through all the open positions, and we check if the position, we can say, for example, if the position symbol is equal to the chart symbol, and in this case, we will simply close the position. We can say trade position close like this, and we choose wait, no, this was not position total. Oh, first of all, we have to get the position ticket, which we can get by position get ticket. And then we say if position ticket, or if we're able to select a position using this ticket, then we check if the position symbol is equal to the chart symbol. And if this is true, then we close the position by providing the position ticket. Okay, this should work now. Let's compile this and run it again. First of all, I will have to fix the problems here. This was a duplicate, and there's another problem. There is a missing bracket. Okay, like this. If we do it like this, we can then start the program again and check if we now close out the positions at 18 o'clock. So let's wait until this is loaded, and it is not working. Great. No, it is working. Okay. So this seems to work. So open the position because of the gap at 0 o'clock, and then at 18 o'clock we close the position and wait for the next signal on the next day. And there should be a sell signal or a sell breakout, or a short breakout, but we execute the buy trade because we trade in this direction right now. And yeah, that's pretty much how the system works. And we can, of course, always change the inputs. And we can, for example, say we want to close at 20 o'clock or 20:30 or whatever you like. And we can also trade the breakouts again. And yeah, there's some flexibility in this program. But this is like an easy way to trade breakouts out of the previous day. And let me just demonstrate the breakouts here again. You can see now trades are closed at 20 o'clock. There's another sell breakout, another sell trade, and trade should be closed at 20 o'clock here. Yeah. This is working great. So let's talk about the program one last time. So the program is really short, really easy. After all, first of all, we include this trade.mqh file, so we can use the ctrade class. Then we have several input variables. Input variables are the kind of variables that can be changed by the user in the in the inputs of the program. So you can see there are inputs, and the user is allowed to change these values. And there we have inputs for the lots. The switch, where we can decide if there's a breakout system or if we want to trade the retracement, and the two variables that we will need for the close time calculation. Then we have this object variable of type ctrade, and we can only use this because we included this file. So make sure that you do not forget this first line. Then we have two Boolean variables. They also have to be global, so they are not resetted with every single tick. And when they are global, they will be declared and initialized pretty much once the program is started, and then they will always stay in the memory of this program or of your PC until the program terminates. So this is important that they are on a global scale. Also, the bars total D1 variable has to be on a global scale because we do not want it to reset after the onTick function terminates. Because we will then in the onTick function need this bars total D1 variable and compare it to the current amount of bars in the daily chart. Because if there is a difference, then we know that there is a new day. Because in this case, we update the bars total D1 variable with the current amount of bars in the daily chart. So only if there is a new day, we will enter the body of this if statement. Then we will reset these two variables because we use them to check if we already opened a trade in this direction for this day. Then obviously we will have to calculate the high and the low for the previous day and the bid price to check if it is above or below the high or low. Then for the order opening, we first of all check if we already ordered or already opened a position. If this is false, then we check if the bid price is above the previous day high. In this case, we have a print statement, so we know what happened. And then we check if we are trading the breakout system. In this case, we open a buy trade, or if we are trading like the retracement, then we sell. We check if this order was executed successfully, and in this case, we say that the buy signal was triggered, or the previous day was triggered. Same goes for the sell signal or for the short, or this is wrong somehow, for the signal that happens if there is the previous day low reached. So in this case, we open a sell position for the breakout and a buy position for the retracement input. And we also check if the order is executed. In this case, update the variable for this. Then we added at the end like the piece of code that is necessary to close the positions. Therefore, we declared a structure of type MQL datetime. This structure holds all the information for a specific point in time, and we then initialize this structure with the values for the current time. Then we overwrite some of the variables of the structure because we want to calculate this close time, and then we take our structure and turn it into a datetime variable again using the struct to time function. And a datetime variable can then be compared to the time current function return value. And if this is true, so if the time is equal or after this time close time point of time, then we close all the positions. And to do so, we simply use a loop to loop through all the open positions. Then we check if this position, if we're able to select this position, and if the position symbol is equal to a chart symbol. And in this case, we just close the position. That's it. Only 80 lines of code for this system, and it is already enough code to trade the previous day high and low signals. So I hope you liked this short tutorial, and I hope that you were able to follow along. And if you did, if you learned something, please leave a like for this video, and subscribe to this channel and recommend the channel to people you know, so more people can benefit from the advantages of automated trading. Okay, so that's it for now. See you in the next video. Until then, have a great time. Bye.